You know what? Yung 4 kong anak hindi ko naalagaan. I hope you don't mind. I want to bond with this child. Like, padede ka, pero pagdating sa madaling araw, yung nasa bote, ako na magpapadede ng mga 3 o'clock, ako na lahat, ako na papalit, gusto kong mag-bonding kami. You know, that's what we did. Na-in love ako sa anak kong babae. Know your why, diba? And then, if this is your why and this is your goal, what's the gap? What's wrong? Is it your why or is it your goal? Because if you have the right goal and the right why and you're unhappy, niloloko mo sarili mo. Isa lang doon ang hindi totoo, yung goal, yung why, o ikaw.
Welcome to Linguist Access Podcast, where we all get together to learn more about inspiring stories behind every journey that will give you the courage to push past challenges and overcome obstacles, all for God's glory, with your host, Shalini Oritaves.
Welcome back to Linguist Access Podcast, where we dive deep into the stories of extraordinary individuals who are making waves in their fields. And today, we have a very special guest who has made a significant impact in the music industry and beyond. Paco Arispacochaga is a talented drummer and songwriter from the iconic Filipino rock band Intro Voice, known for hits that have defined generations like Line to Heaven, Hindi Na Ako Aasa Pa. But Paco's journey is more than just about music. He is a dedicated and advocate for mental health, resilience, and finding purpose through life's challenges. With a story that spans across continents, Paco has not only left a legacy in the Philippines, but has also built a life in the U.S., continuing to inspire others through his music, insights, and unwavering passion. Join us as we dive into Paco's unique journey, his inspiration, and the lessons he's learned along the way. It's great to have you here, Paco. By the way, how do you want me to call you?
Pogi na lang.
Okay. Hi, Pogi.
Paco is fine. No.
Just kidding.
Paco is fine. Hi, Sha, and hi, Eric, behind the camera. So
yeah, hi. Is there anything I missed in your bio that you want our audience to know more about?
No, I am a podcast host. I actually host Paco's Place. It's a podcast that has been going on for 5 years now. So,
wow.
It's called Paco's Place. I've been doing that.
I'd like to talk about early life and career. Can you share some highlights of your journey in the Philippines, in the entertainment industry?
At an early age, I knew what I wanted. Like, at an early age, I knew I wanted to do this. Early meaning 11 years old. 11 years old with 2 parents who don't know anything about music. My mom can't dance. My dad can't sing. But I am biologically related to both of them. So, when I said I wanted to be a musician, both of them said, it's not going to work out. It's not in the genes. And against all odds, like no one wanted me to do what I'm doing. However, I decided to pursue it. Well, actually 13, I hooked up with Agamulak and his universe and I tried show business at 13, hanging out with Agamulak when he was at the height of baguettes, all those stuff. And at 15, I started Intro Voice together with my childhood friend, Jonathan Buencamino, and my high school classmate who passed away years ago. His name is Sergi Cristobal. So the 3 of us, we started Intro Voice. And it sucked. When I say it sucked, talagang walang future. It looked like a group without a future. However, in my head, it was a perfect group. And you know what? Everything starts in your head. Like, I'm Christian, but I'll go philosophical. Sometimes people think it's existentialism supersedes essentialism. I'm more of the opposite. Mine is essentialism first. Mm-hmm. The essence has to be tangible in your head. Mm-hmm. And then you manifest it toward the physical world. Mm-hmm. I'm not going anything meta. I'm just saying that everything that happened in my life has been in my head before it ever occurred. There will be days where you're the only one who believes in yourself.
That's true.
And there will be a lot of moments where people will think you're very arrogant
Mm-hmm.
because your confidence is being perceived as arrogance.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's hard. Like, you have family and friends telling you it's not
It's not gonna work.
possible.
Yeah.
And you're the only one who believes it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have people climbing up Mount Everest. I bet you people have told them it's not possible for you to climb Mount Everest. But they did. And those who died trying, I bet you they were happy dying on Mount Everest or close to Mount Everest. So that's my thing. My thing is, if I don't make it, at least let me die trying to do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, we're all
Yeah,
gonna
that
die.
is true.
But then again, there are those people living life, waiting to die. Me, no. I am alive, and every day is an opportunity for me to reach my goal until I die.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah, I think I share the
Right,
same
Sha?
thoughts.
I cannot guarantee that I'll hit all of my goals, but I'll guarantee you right now, every day that I'm living, I am living toward the pursuit of my goals.
Mm-hmm.
Yun.
Wow. So would you say that was just part of your pacing, part of the band? Because actually, if you ask me, I would say that your band would be one of, in the pedestal, successful. And I would not even think that it's going nowhere, to be honest. I mean, if you ask me the kind of impression that you're telling me right now, I would have difficulty believing that, you thought of that, because for all of us audience, we would say that it's wow, it's one of the best.
So we are 38 years old. The band is 38 years old.
Okay.
We just had a rehearsal last night. We
Wow.
have a show on December 14. We have a loyal following.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where I know if you're hardcore intro voice or not. Because we have over 350,000 hardcore fans around the world. I know this because we do have newsletters and we see how many people open the newsletter. And to think, we're not on TV, we're not on Philippine radio, diba? We're just
Yeah.
living normal lives. But a month ago or 2 months ago, was it 2 months ago, we just released a single on Spotify. These are songs consumed by real intro voice fans. And we've come to a point where it's not about fame anymore. It's about the continuous pursuit of our passion.
Yeah. Amazing. That's
Yun ang masarap.
amazing.
Diba?
So transitioning away from the Philippines, what influenced your decision to leave the Philippines?
Part of the perks of being in a popular band is the United States will give you a green card. If you are a nationally known scientist, athlete, or artist, you qualify for that EB1 category, Extraordinary Ability Visa. So they give you a green card. So parang it's a no-brainer at this point. Diba, bands have become ubiquitous with, kumbaga wala ka ng fan eh. Everybody has a band, right? There are no audience anymore. Your audience has a band. Kumbaga, okay, kung lahat tayo nagbabanda, alis na lang, let's go. So we took advantage of it. The whole Intro Voice went to the States. I went in 2001. The rest of the band came in 2005. So we situated ourselves here, started our lives here. And when we got grounded, and then we continued on as a band. But we would practice. It was very, very funny. We would practice. Naging garage band kami ulit. Kasi doon lang kami tumutugtog, di ba?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we would
Wow.
live. We're neighbors up to now. Up to now, we're all neighbors. So, may isang barbecue, tapos tugtog sa garahe. You know how it is pag
Yeah.
Sunday.
Uh-huh.
Pag Sundays, tipong gano'n. Yeah. Hanggang mamaya, tapos umabot kami sa, tara, tugtog tayo sa mga maliliit na bar. Yung mga Pinoy bar, and wala silang idea na kami yung intro voice. Sasabihin ko lang na, si Paco Tiaga, may banda ako, pwede ba kami tumugtog? Sige. Tapos mamaya makugulat na lang sila, oh my God, di ba intro voice to? And then
Yeah,
kumalat. Tapos, yeah, gano'n.
Was it a difficult choice? I mean, I know it's no-brainer to realize that this could offer you a green card, opportunity. But then again, was it a difficult choice? Because, you are used to performing in a lot of crowd. Yeah.
Okay. when you say difficult choice, sobrang difficult because you are leaving family and friends. It took a while for them to give me my green card because 9/11 happened. Remember, I left in 2001. Diba? So, pending ako. If I went home, I would have to wait in the Philippines. And hindi ko alam. So, I took a chance. Pending ang papers ko. So, sabi ko, you know what? I'll take odd jobs while waiting for my papers. In contrast, by the way, si Jonathan Buencamino and the rest of the band, they came in 2005. Oh my God, 4 months binigay na yung green card nila.
Wow.
Yung sa akin, in-apply ko ng 2001. 2004 ko nakuha. Because of the whole 911 thing, nagkaroon ng backlog sa processing ng mga green card. And so imagine, like, I had to work as, hindi ako na caregiver, pero nagkargador ako. Yun, ginawa ko yun. And that was very humbling. But at the same time, it taught me humility. It made me realize na, sa Pilipinas, grabe, we have a caste system in the Philippines. Caste system.
Yes, that's true.
And pagdating dito, pantay-pantay tayo.
Yes, that is true.
Yun ang masarap. Sabi ng manager ko dun sa warehouse, dati pinapanood lang kita, ngayon, tauhan na kita. And you know, we had a very good relationship. Like, it made me, hindi naman ako anak mayaman sa Pilipinas, but syempre pag umabot ka sa isang status, right? Exactly. But you know what? That name, you can put that in your pocket. And then when you realize all these things, you can bring that name out again when you've developed enough humility to bring out that name because now may meaning na ngayon yun. And you could use it for better things as opposed to just it being a brand or a name. Diba? You could use it to help other people. You could use it to inspire people. Maiiba talaga. Maiiba. So, yun ang nangyari. Odd jobs. Tapos, syempre, tenacity. Kasi, maraming rejection. Diba? Abot ka na naman sa ganon. Tapos, may mga Pilipino hindi may iwasan. Ang talangkaan. Talamak din yan kahit saan sa mundo. Wherever you go, there is crab mentality. Not only in our ethnicity, but in every culture, there is crab mentality. So, but God is good. I always say God is good. Prayers did help. They do help up to now. And you just have to be steadfast. And again, I keep saying, it doesn't matter where you start. Again, as long as you always know where you want to finish.
That is so amazing.
Yun ang palagi kong tinuturo sa mga mini-mentor ko. The finish is always important. What's the goal? You have to begin with the end in mind. But that's a Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective Individuals. You have to really begin with the end in mind. What's the goal? Ganon. Start somewhere. But you have to know where the finish line is.
They say it's really not about what you do, it's how you do it and why you're doing it.
Actually, it's more nga, not really about what and how Given yun It's the why. What's your why? Why are you in the States? Why are you stressing? Why are you bickering? Why are you anxious? Why are you unhappy? Know your why. Diba? And then, if this is your why and this is your goal, what's the gap? What's wrong? Is it your why or is it your goal? Because if you have the right goal and the right why and you're unhappy, niloloko mo sarili mo. Isa lang doon ang hindi totoo. Yung goal, yung why, o ikaw. Diba? But if those 3 factors are aligned, you should be okay.
You know what?
Sonia,
I like it. I mean, everything that I need to hear today, I need it. I mean, life lessons and growth. Looking back, Paco, are there moments that you would say, balik na lang ako ng Pinas? I'm going nowhere?
Yeah.
Really?
That's temptation. Okay? I haven't eaten rice since 2017, Since 2017, tumigil na ako kumain ng rice completely, 100%.
Wow.
Yes. And you know what? I have my why. Diba? And my why is greater than the temptation to eat rice. Yung balik na lang ako ng Pinas, my why am I here in the States is greater than me giving up and balik na lang ako ng Pinas. I had a goal. Nung time na yan, I only had one son, si Heaven. And my goal was, sa Pilipinas, pag bumalik ako ron, makikipagsapalaran ako sa mga batang artista at mas magagaling na banda. Sa Amerika, I can be anonymous and actually give a better future to my son.
Mhm. Mhm.
Diba? That was my why. Find why. And then once you've defined why you want to do what you want to do, ask yourself, how am I going to do it? Once you've determined how you're going to do it, what steps do I need to take the first step? So why, tapos how, tapos what?
Paco, how has this experience changed your perspective on fame and success?
Fame and success is ano? Did you watch The Matrix?
Yeah, I love it. The peel.
Diba? When you're inside the Matrix, everything is real, diba?
Mm.
Feelings are real and everything is real. Everything is personal. Yun ang analogy ko dyan, yun ang metaphor. When you've realized that it's a matrix, now you don't take things personally anymore. Things just are. So what I've come to realize is success, fame, everything else. Ano yan relative yan eh. It's relative. Your definition of success should be different from my definition of success. I'm 53. My mom died at 46. My dad died at 50. My brother died at 49.
Why? I mean,
I'm 53.
short. And you're kicking, healthy.
I have 5 kids now. I want to live for them. Like before we started this, I was very aware of the time. Why? Because I want to give them time. Because I know for a fact that my time is finite. This is my success. My children are my success. I mean, what they do in their lives, that's on them. Pero me having a relationship with all of my children, that to me is success. Me having the time to spend with my children, that to me is successful. Yours might be your bank account. Mine might be my kids, di ba? I mean, may ganun eh. Dati I would think to be successful that may pera ka, may ganito ka. Hindi na.
Yeah, you mentioned about, the intangible, that you go beyond the tangible, but now it's more what really matters is that, the intangible, the things, your relationship with your loved ones. Now, maintaining connection with Filipino roots. How do you stay connected to the Filipino culture and community while you are in the US?
You don't forget yourself. It's as simple as that. Hindi naman tayo pinanganak dito eh. I left the Philippines when I was 29. That's enough culture for me. Diba? I mean, I was making fun of everybody because I left in July of 2001. Tapos I went back in September of 2001. Did you grow up in Manila, Quezon City? Where did you grow up?
Well, no, in Mindanao area, but I studied in Manila.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, which part of Manila?
QC. Quezon City. I studied in UP.
Sa Mindanao, saan ka?
Sa General
sa Mindanao,
Santos.
saan ka? Jansan?
General Santos,
Okay.
yeah.
So, alam mo yung Bonifacio. Alam mo yung Bonifacio Avenue, di ba?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course. Imaginein mo na lang to. Kunyari, pareho tayo taga Jensen. Umalis ako ng July. Pagbalik ko ng Jensen ng September, ano tong avenue na to? Parang familiar to. Isipin mo, 2 buwan pa lang ako nawawala. Nakalimutan ko na yung Bonifacio Avenue. Haven't been to Jensen since 1993 and I still remember Bonifacio Avenue. Can you imagine? What's my point? My point is,
you don't forget.
sa edad natin, when we left the Philippines, we have enough culture in us to be responsible enough not to forget our Filipino roots. It is our responsibility because we're our own time capsule. It is our responsibility to share that with our kids. I have 2 children out of my 5 kids. I have 2 children who don't speak Tagalog. I hate it. I hate it that they don't speak Tagalog. One of them said, "Can I get a computer for Christmas?" I go, "No. If we have a conversation in Tagalog, like a full-blown conversation in Tagalog, I'll buy you the top-of-the-line computer. Until then, stick to your iPhone." But why do my kuyas have computers? They speak Tagalog. Speak Tagalog, I'll buy you a computer.
That's true. So language is something that you want to pass on to others. What about customs and values that you pass on to your kids?
Po and opo. Po, opo, please, thank you. Pinasa ko yun. Respect na as an entitlement, hindi ko pinasa yun. Para sa akin, mas gusto ko yung dito. Respect is earned. You know what? So I'm the eldest among 6 siblings, right? Meron kaming threshold and I applied this with my 5 kids. So, ang sabi sa akin ng magulang ko, kuya ka hanggang hindi pa sila 18. Pagdating nila ng 18, I don't want to hear you guys calling each other kuya, kuya, kuya. Of course, namatay yung mga magulang namin bago sila umabot ng 18. But we applied that. Ngayon, we just call each other by names. Wala nang kuya, kuya. I said that to my kids also. And the reason being, I don't know if you're the eldest, but normally the eldest bullies the youngest eh. Makinig ka sa akin. Ako ang kuya mo. Di ba? Parang, it's not supposed to be like that.
No.
Di ba? Pagdating natin ng 18, we both can think for ourselves. Now, let me see if you're worth being respected. Now, you have to earn my respect. Dati, obligado akong respetuhin ka, patanda ka, bata ako. Pero ngayon, 18 na ako. If I'm allowed to go buy myself a pack of cigarettes or a 21 go drink, why am I supposed to just respect you again? Dahil mas matanda ka sa akin? Why don't you earn my respect? So that's what I told my children. Why? It makes heaven accountable to my 9-year-old. Heaven's 28.
Yeah.
My youngest is 9 years old. Right now, Kuya Heaven niya to. But when my 9-year-old becomes
Heaven.
18, Heaven needs to earn her respect.
Wow.
So hindi ko gusto yung kulturang ganun sa Pilipinas. Alam mo siya,
Yeah.
you know what that stops? It stops us from developing critical thinking.
Yeah. That's true. And I'm really contemplating about that because my husband and I were both businessmen in General Santos. And then my husband is a contractor. The thing about is that respect, just because the person is a politician, regardless if he is a clean politician, just because he is well known, he is somewhat successful because of his wealth, maybe, regardless if that was, a filthy kind of, richness. You know what I mean? Dahil nga sikat siya, respect. And I like that you emphasize you have to earn it. It's not something that I'm just going to give it away. Yeah, I'm just going to give it to you just because. You need to work on that. And I love that because nobody actually told me that pwede pala yun ma-change yung kultura na yan. Kasi it's I think it's been there, it's conquered, and it's difficult for us. Kasi, yun na nga, patriarchal, lahat yung sinong matanda, yung gender, and daming issues. But for you to really mention it, I think it's high time. It's high time that we Filipinos should really think about this. Wow, ang ganda.
Like you have young
Ganda na
kids.
sinabi mo.
How many kids do you and Eric have? You and Eric have 2 kids. Teach both of them to respect each other. And then pagtanda nila, remind both of them that they should earn each other's respect. Even you as parents, when they're old enough,
Yeah.
hindi, kailangan buhayin mo ko dahil magulang mo ko. No, mom. No, dad. If you've been a bad mom or if you've been a bad dad, maybe it's high time I live my life because I don't want my kids to see what type of person you are. Diba? Respect has to be earned eh. And that's humility among family or extended family or family tree. Diba? Parang ganon.
Wow. Those are real stories in life. And I know for sure that for our audience out there, itong kultura ng Filipino, I mean, I don't say it's all bad, but there are really cultures in the Philippines or among us na talagang, ang hirap niyang buhayin sa araw-araw. We are struggling with because we want to always pay that respect. Yun na nga yung lagi mong sinasabi, respetuhin. And I always hear that. And sometimes I'm guilty of that na alam ko minsan, yun nga sinasabi nila, children follow your example, not your advice. So, even if I tell them, oh, you should not smoke, if I myself is a smoker, wala, it's futile, it's useless kasi they don't see it that way. So, yun yung laging emphasis doon eh.
Usapan natin yung rice.
Why is that, by the way?
Una, it's unhealthy. Isang katerbang asukal ang kanin.
That's true.
I'm not saying I stopped eating carbs. I'm just saying I stopped eating rice. So I'm teaching all my kids the unimportance of rice, the irrelevance of rice.
Ang hirap niyan, ha?
No. Subukan mo kumain ng isang buwan na puro kanin lang. Mas mahirap yon. Alam mo, ang sinasabi ko sa tao, mamili ka, kumain ka ng puro ulam ng isang buwan o puro kanin ng isang buwan. And then, balikan mo ako, sabi mo sa akin kung saan ka mas nag-enjoy. Diba? If given a binary choice. Anyway, sinasabi ko sa mga anak ko, pwede nyo i-enjoy ang sinigang ng gabi ang gamitin nyo. Lagyan nyo ng bok choy. Kumbaga, may enjoy nila in a different way. Pagdating sa kare-kare, ganun din. Ayan ang kare-kare, andyan ang tuwalya ng kare-kare, andyan ang gulay ng kare-kare, andyan ang bagoong. Hindi ko naman sinasabi, hindi nyo kailangan lagyan ng kanin yan. Ano pa ba? Adobo. Tabihan nyo yung patatas. Lagyan nyo ng itlog. Diba? Pareho rin sa kaldereta, pareho rin sa mechado, sa afritada. It's the same thing. Same thing. Bakit ang mga pagkain Italiano or Americano or even Chinese? Have you been to a Chinese laureate? Have you been to a Chinese laureate?
Yeah.
What do they serve
Noodles.
last?
Noodles.
No, last. Noodles first. Soup pala, soup. But the
Soup.
last thing they serve in a Chinese laureate is the rice.
Talaga.
Even the Chinese have it right.
Yeah.
Diba? Tayo
Yeah.
lang kasi,
Kultura.
syempre, buhay mahirap. Buhay mahirap, diba? Alam mo yung, singutin mo yung ulam and then kumain ka ng 3 subong kanin. Singutin mo yung ulam, kumain ka ng 3 subong kanin, busog ka na. Ngayon, ano meron sa Pilipinas? Diabetes.
Correct.
Ang PhilHealth, ginawa na nilang libre ang dialysis.
That's
Kasi
true.
ang dami nagda-dialysis sa Pilipinas. Bakit? Chronic kidney disease. Bakit? Dahil sa diabetes.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
Totoo.
to your point, how can I tell my kids not to eat rice if the mom and dad are eating rice?
And how easy it is for you to say, I'm not eating rice and so you shouldn't.
I tell them may rice dyan. Binibili namin sa Costco yung mga mina-microwave na rice
Uh-huh.
cup. Luto na, pero ma-microwave mo na lang, di ba?
Mhm.
May rice dyan. Kung gusto nyo mag-rice, mag-microwave kayo ng rice nyo. We're not cooking rice. If you want to cook your own rice, cook your own rice. We're not stopping you from eating rice, but we're not gonna make it easy for you guys to access rice. So, ganun sila.
It's amazing that not only that you talk about life in general, values, yung ating projects now, you may mention about Intro Voice and all of this, yung recent project natin. I want to first and foremost focus on failures in life. Or kahit isang failure man lang dun sa life mo. Na, I want to delve into that. Na pwede nating sabihin na, I would say, I'm proud of this failure but really made me more. I mean, you made mention about waiting time for your green card. And I would not say that's a failure. Is there any failure in life that you would never forget?
Okay, ganito na lang. I have 5 kids. Iba-iba nanay niyan. How much failure do you want? Diba? Paano mo kakalimutan yan? 5 anak mo, iba-ibang nanay. So, ibig sabihin, alam mong sumabit ka 4 times, right?
Yeah.
Sumabit ka 4 times, pero successful ka sa pang-5. Plus the fact na yung 4 na nauna, mahal nila yung wife ko. And all my kids are with me. So, that's the redemption of those failures.
But you're friends
why am
with
I
the
able-
moms, right?
All the moms. But why am I able to share this with you, Sha? It's because I acknowledged that these are failures. And I acknowledge that I failed. Problema is not the failure. Problema is the pride to accept the fact that you failed. And then, 2 things. Number 1, ayaw mo na subukan. Number 2, ayaw mo magbago.
Mhm.
Took me a long time to realize what my problem is.
Mhm.
But you know what? God bless every woman I've had a relationship with because hindi sila nagkulang ng sermon sa akin. And eventually, it cracked my head open to realize na, okay, I really need to fix myself or else paikot-ikot lang ako. And every failure has a lesson. Problema lang, hindi ako kagad natututo sa lesson. Pero nung natuto na ako sa lesson, oh my God, success. To your point, di ba? Which is different from your success. Kaya nga sabi ko in the beginning of our podcast, natutunan kong tanggapin na ang success is relative. You cannot put a matrix on my success. You cannot put a rubrics on my success. Yon. Iba ang rubrics ng success ko sa success mo.
Mhm. It's totally different. Yung hopes mo ngayon, you said it's all about your kids, it's my children are my success. I mean, if you ask me, how do I define success? It would always be my children. Now, if you share to me something that your kids are doing right now, and I don't know their ages. I mean, Heaven is, of course, you mentioned
28.
about
He's
9 years old.
And then 16. Sipin mo, 16. Can you imagine parang magkaiba nanay nun, ha? So imagine mo yung 16 na yon, di ba? So, Tapos isang 12, tsaka isang 9. Oh.
So how do you treat them? I mean, I know they're your children, but they know for a fact that they came from different parents. And how do they still give that respect to you? I mean, I'm not saying you should not be respected, but there's always this thinking. I mean, please, my apology if this is kind of bold question. Pero like,
Be bold.
what did you do? I mean, what did you do for them to still have that kind of respect that you deserve?
I had to earn their respect. I had to apologize. I had to come clean. I had to be honest, and I have to be honest. I have to show respect to their moms. I have to be humble in front of their moms. I have to constantly remind myself na, you know what, they did not choose to be born to this world. Diba? I had to tell them na I'm sorry for making you guys trophy children. And then the day I realized that, kasi mga lalaki, dami kong anak pare, mga ganyan. Ako hindi. Sinabi ko, you know what? I am going to be a dad to all of my kids. And then it started with Heaven. Si Heaven ang pinakahuling rumispeto sa akin. Si Heaven, nilayasan ako niyan. In-nephew ako ni Heaven at 17. Gave me the finger and then left. And then when he realized that I was becoming a dad, he came back.
Yeah.
And he said, I admire you. And hindi ko sinabi, anak lang kita, kailangan, respetuhin mo. Hindi, when he left, it broke my heart. But then again, nung nag-18 siya, we were apart. And then sabi ko, oh my God, these kids are gonna leave me one by one until I start treating them with respect and until I start being a dad. So I became a dad. I became a good husband, a good father. I'm always there for them. To the point na yung mga nanay nila and my wife, sila yung, hoy, mamamatay na maaga ang tatay nyo, huwag nyo abusuhin, ha? But I'm always there for them. Yung confidence nila knowing full well na pag may game, pag may performance, pag may recital, I'm always there. Na yung anak ko, yung nakikita ko yung pride ng anak ko, alam ko clarinet lang yung instrumento niya, dear Lord, sa clarinet na nakikita ko lang sa likod ng orchestra yung buhok niyang kulot. Pero, alam mo yun, sabi niya, Daddy, take a video. Parang in my head, I'm like, anong video ako sa'yo? Hindi kita nakikita. Ulo mo lang ang nakikita ko, buhok lang ang nakikita ko. Pero yung confidence ng anak ko na, yeah, my dad's in the audience. I saw him with his iPhone. Diba? So, yun na hindi ako nag-
This is kind of personal. But do you paddle?
Go.
Why?
Paddle meaning,
Like,
Paddle
they
means-
said, you spare the rod and you spoil the child.
no, I paddle.
don't know if you believe in that.
I do. Chicks, I did not spare the rod. My children are not spoiled. However, hindi ako namamalo out of anger. Hindi na ako namamalo ngayon, by the way, ha. Namalo lang ako when they were kids. Why? Because you cannot monologue to a child. They don't understand what you're saying. So, hindi na ako ng bubugbog. Iba yung bugbog. May spatula ako. May tinatawag kaming green spoon na binili namin, na binigay ng Yogurtland. So, meron akong green spoon. And, pag halimbawa, may kukunin silang, like, ng babies na, may kukunin silang gano'n. No. Tinatap ko lang, no. I don't spank with my hand. Diba? Parang, no. Tapos nung lumaki-laki na, pag nag-aaway sila, puwet, di ba, yung green spoon. May malaking green spoon ng Yogurtland eh. Sa puwet yun, palo yun. Hindi ako nang bugbog, namalo ako. However, and I will share this with you and Eric and everybody listening and watching. When my daughter was born, she's the youngest. When I found out I was having a daughter, I felt bad. Kasi ang anak ko lahat puro lalaki. And I never, ever wanted a daughter. Never, ever. So when I found out I was having a baby girl, yung buong pregnancy ng wife ko, hindi na ako happy. So from the 4th month to the 9th month, parang, shoot, babae. Oh my God, babae. Remember siya, 4 boys to, di ba? So finally, nung lumabas yung baby girl ko, parang, okay, baby girl. Sabi ko sa wife ko, you know what? Yung 4 kong anak hindi ko naalagaan. I hope you don't mind. I want to bond with this child. Like, padede ka, pero pagdating sa madaling araw, yung mga nasa bote, ako na magpapadede ng mga 3 o'clock, ako na lahat, ako na papalit, gusto kong mag-bonding kami. You know, that's what we did. And na-in love ako sa anak kong babae. To the point na parang, oh my God, I've been missing out. Why? Pag lalaki anak mo, ganito ka magsasalita pag nadapa. Oh, tayo ka. Pakita, let me see your boo-boo. Let me see your boo-boo. That's nothing. Go play. Keep playing. But Dad, it hurts. Run it off. You'll be fine. Run it off. That's how I talk to my boys. To my girl, I caught myself going, let me see that boo-boo, baby. Oh, do you want Dada to kiss your boo-boo? You cannot say that to a guy. You cannot say that to your son. Pero when I had a daughter, sabi ko, oh my God, ang sarap ng feeling na to. And then, I was at Disneyland and I saw this girl. I saw this father and daughter. Daughter was about 3 years old. My daughter naman was in a bassinet, about 4 or 5 months old. But nakita ko yung dad, white family, yung dad buhat-buhat niya yung babae. Tinayo niya sa lamesa. And then sabi niya, you better listen to me, huh? Telling you. Gumaginagano niya, you want me to hit you in front of him? Sabi lang ng daughter, I'm sorry, Daddy. I won't do it again. I love you. I'm sorry. And then in my head, I'm like, oh my God, itong babaeng to will grow up and accept domestic violence from her would-be husband or boyfriend because ganito siya tratuhin ng tatay niya. And para sa kanya, ito ang concept ng love. And I'm like, hell no. Like ever since my daughter was young up to now, sinasabi ko, your brothers better not hit you because I will beat the crap out of them. And I told my sons, if your sister gets hurt, you better pay your hospital bills because I will let hell break loose. Nothing should ever happen to your sister. And you guys are not allowed to hit women. 100%. So I'm all for that. I'm very, very anti-domestic violence. So I have that, diba? Magkaiba. I'm teaching my boys to be men. I'm teaching my daughter to be loved. At the same time, I'm telling my daughter, you are not entitled because my daughter sees my wife and my wife cooks. My wife serves the family. Perfect definition of ilaw ng tahanan. And she works, ha? Pero she's ilaw ng tahanan. Okay? And I tell my daughter, look at mom. You will be a mommy one day. And that's how you will be. And you better not be throwing the trash because that's a man's job. You better not be putting out the trash because that's a man's job. You better not be putting gas in the car because that's a man's job. But you have to know these things para you don't rely on a man. But if your husband doesn't do that for you, you better think why you're even with that guy. Because those are basic things na dapat ginagawa ng lalaki para sa babae. Not because hindi kaya ng babae, but because mahal mo yung babae. Like sa amin dalawa, marunong ako magluto. Pero ang nagluluto yung wife ko, mas gusto niya yun eh. Very traditional eh, di ba? Mas gusto niya, ako magsaserve sa inyo. Yun nga lang, oh my God, siya. Ako tagahugas ng mga kaldero. Diba? Tapos yung mga batang lalaki, sila tagatapon ng basura. Tinatrain ko na sila eh. Pero minsan, makikita ko yung luto ng misis ko, ang sarap-sarap. And then iniisip ko, ayoko pumunta sa kusina dahil malamang iniwan niya lahat ng huhugas.
That's the end of part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. Only here on Linguist Access Podcast. Thank you for listening to Linguist Access Podcast. Please give us a review on iTunes. Leave a comment. Like, share, and subscribe. See you on the next episode.